why we forget things, and how to gently reclaim our memory. Have you ever found your glasses in the fridge? Or stood in front of a drawer? Only to ask yourself, what was I looking for again? Maybe you've told the same story to the same person 3 times this week. And bless their heart, they smiled every time. If you've caught yourself laughing, sighing, or worrying over these little memory hiccups, you are absolutely not alone. In fact, more and more people over 50 are asking the same question. Why do I keep forgetting things lately? Today, we're going to explore this question not with fear or frustration, but with kindness, curiosity, and a little laughter. Because forgetting things now and then isn't always a sign of decline. Sometimes, it's a signal, a message, or even a superpower in disguise. So grab your tea, settle into a cozy chair, and stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand why forgetfulness happens after 50. 5 surprisingly gentle, joyful ways to strengthen your memory, starting today. If that sounds good to you, tap the like button, subscribe to our channel, and maybe leave a comment below. What's the funniest thing you've forgotten recently? Mine? I once forgot I was baking sweet potatoes, until the smoke detector kindly reminded me. Let's begin. Why do we forget? Now first things first. Forgetting things doesn't mean you're broken. In fact, and this is fascinating, your brain forgets on purpose. Yup. That's right. Science calls it adaptive forgetting. According to neuroscientists at the University of Toronto, our brain filters out unimportant information, so we can focus on what really matters. Forgetting helps the brain prioritize. Professor Blake Richards, 2017. Think about it, do you really need to remember where you parked in front of the grocery store last Tuesday? Or what socks you wore on March 5, 2000? Nope. Your brain lets go of the clutter to make space for what's meaningful. Like your grandson's piano recital, or your favorite blueberry muffin recipe. According to Dr. Daniel Levitin, neuroscientist and author of Successful Aging, our brains don't actually lose knowledge as we get older. They just get slower at retrieving it. Think of it this way: your brain is like a big, beautiful library. In your 20s, it was a tidy little collection of books. Now, it's a grand library. It takes a bit longer to find what you're looking for, but everything's still there. So no, forgetting where you put your phone doesn't mean something is wrong. It just means your brain is working differently than it used to. And that's okay. Let's talk science. What's happening inside your brain? So, what is happening inside your brain when memory slips occur? Let's break it down into a few key reasons. 1. Hippocampus shrinkage. No, it's not a Harry Potter spell. The hippocampus is the part of your brain responsible for memory formation. And studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that it tends to shrink slightly with age, especially after 50. A smaller hippocampus means it's harder to form new memories. But here's the good news. Exercise and sleep can increase the size and activity of the hippocampus. So yes, you really can jog your memory. Literally. 2. Hormonal shifts. If you're going through menopause, andropause, or just plain human pause, your estrogen and testosterone levels are changing. And both of those hormones play a huge role in cognitive function. Estrogen, for instance, affects neurotransmitters like serotonin and acetylcholine, which are involved in memory and mood. With less estrogen, your brain doesn't get the same chemical spark, and that can affect how you think and feel. So, those senior moments? Sometimes they're really hormonal moments. 3. Sleep disruption. Ever noticed you forget everything after a bad night's sleep? Poor sleep is a sneaky thief of memory. According to the National Institute on Aging, deep sleep is essential for moving memories from short-term storage to long-term. When we're over 50, sleep often becomes lighter and more interrupted. And that's when the brain doesn't get its full filing time. So if your brain feels foggy, your pillow might be the one to blame. 4. We're multitasking more than we think. Now here's something many people don't consider. Sometimes we forget things not because our brain is failing, but because it's overwhelmed. Modern life, even in retirement, is full of noise. You're boiling water, thinking about your doctor's appointment. And someone calls asking where the TV remote is. Of course you forget what you were doing. Your brain's just overbooked. One psychologist, Dr. Margaret Gatz from USC, found that chronic stress over time can shrink parts of the brain related to memory. So the next time you forget something, instead of blaming age, ask yourself, am I overwhelmed? Am I being kind to myself? Before we move on, take a breath. Maybe smile. Maybe even stretch your neck or roll your shoulders a bit. You're doing great. And if any of this has sparked a little aha moment, or reminded you of something you forgot ironically, leave a comment below. I love hearing your stories. Let me say this with love, forgetting where you put your keys or phone doesn't mean you have dementia. Here's the difference. Normal aging. You forget names, but remember them later. You misplace things occasionally. You walk into a room and forget why, then retrace your steps and go, oh right. Warning signs. Consistently forgetting how to do everyday tasks. Getting lost in familiar places. Big personality changes. But for most of us, it's the little forgettings. The tip of the tongue moments. Wait, did I already feed the cat? Situations. The cat looks full, but also always looks full. And again, that's okay. Let's do a memory check-in together. Quick test. What did you have for breakfast? What's your childhood best friend's name? Can you name 3 countries in Europe? If those came to mind even slowly, you're doing great. See? You still got it. What helps our memory stay strong? So what helps our memory stay sharp? Can we really improve it? Or is it all downhill after 65? Absolutely not. In fact, there's so much you can do. And none of it involves brain surgery, flashcards, or memorizing Shakespeare. Now for the heart of this video. We're diving into 5 powerful tips today. Each one is delightfully simple, yet backed by science. These are easy ways to help you keep your memory sharp. Sharp as your wit. And just as vibrant as your spirit. 1. The morning mind sweep. Your daily mental declutter. Each morning, while your tea steeps and the world slowly awakens, give yourself this beautiful gift. Recall 3 simple things that will set your entire day up for success. 1. What you did yesterday, not every detail, just the highlights. Maybe you called your sister, finished that crossword puzzle, or finally figured out how to unmute yourself on Zoom. We've all been there. 2. One thing you're looking forward to. It could be as grand as a family visit, or as simple as trying that new recipe you've been eyeing. Here's what Harvard School of Public Health discovered. If you stay optimistic about your future, your memory can be up to 50% better than someone who doesn't. 3. One person you're grateful for. This isn't just feel-good fluff. A study from 2019, published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, found something pretty amazing. When you regularly practice gratitude, it can actually rewire your brain. That means it helps you remember things better, and even manage your emotions more smoothly. Think of this morning ritual as sweeping the porch before your day begins, clearing away yesterday's mental clutter, so today's experiences can settle in properly. Dr. Daniel Siegel, a clinical professor of psychiatry at UCLA, calls this mental hygiene. And it's just as important as brushing your teeth. Here's the beautiful part. You're already doing the hard work, just by being curious about improving your memory. That curiosity? It's your brain's way of saying, I'm ready to grow. And at any age, that's absolutely remarkable. 2. Eat the brain rainbow. Fuel your magnificent mind. Now, Let's talk about feeding that brilliant brain of yours. Foods that support memory aren't just good for you. They're downright delicious and easier to incorporate than you might think. Blueberries, affectionately nicknamed brain berries by neuroscientists, contain anthocyanins, powerful compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier, and literally camp out in your memory centers. A study from the University of Exeter found that older adults who consumed blueberry concentrate for 12 weeks showed significant improvements in cognitive function. One participant joked,
"I went from forgetting my grocery list to remembering my great-grandson's middle name."
Leafy greens like spinach and kale are packed with folate, vitamin K, and lutein. Research from Rush University's Memory and Aging Project, which followed over 950 participants for an average of 5 years, found that people who ate just one serving of leafy greens daily had the memory performance of someone 11 years younger. Popeye was onto something. Omega-3 rich foods, salmon, walnuts, flax seeds are like premium oil for your brain's engine. Dr. Lisa Mosconi, author of Brain Food and director of the Women's Brain Initiative at Weill Cornell Medicine, explains that these foods support neuron repair and slow brain aging by maintaining the integrity of cell membranes. She notes, think of omega-3s as the brain's construction crew, constantly repairing and upgrading your neural pathways. But here's what makes you absolutely wonderful. You're taking the time to learn about nourishing your brain. That intentionally, that care you're showing yourself, it's already making a difference. Keep going, your future self is cheering you on. 3. Move with joy. Your brain's favorite dance party. Here's where we get to bust a myth. You don't need to become a marathon runner to boost your memory. In fact, some of the most brain-beneficial movements are the ones that make you smile. Walking, stretching, gardening, dancing in the living room to earth, wind and fire. Even belting out songs in the shower while grooving to your favorite oldies. It all counts. And it's all amazing for memory. The science behind the magic. Movement improves blood flow to your brain by up to 15%. According to research from the University of Illinois, this increased blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients directly to your memory centers. But here's the really exciting part. Exercise triggers the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which neurobiologist Dr. John Ratey calls Miracle-Grow for the brain. A groundbreaking study from the University of British Columbia found that regular aerobic exercise actually increases the size of the hippocampus, your brain's memory headquarters. One 78-year-old participant shared,
"I started with 10-minute walks around my block. 6 months later, I was remembering my neighbors' names, my doctor's appointments, and where I put my keys. My family thinks I'm magic."
The Mayo Clinic confirms 30 minutes of light movement a day boosts memory and mood. But you know what's even better than that statistic? The fact that you're considering adding more joy-filled movement to your life. That's not just smart, that's inspiring. 4. Connection full of laughter. Your memory's best friend. Want to know the #1 memory superpower that costs absolutely nothing, but pays dividends beyond measure? Connection. Just talking to someone you care about can do wonders for your brain. Call a friend. Chat over coffee. Even have a deep conversation with your dog. They're excellent listeners and never interrupt. These moments activate multiple parts of your brain simultaneously. The areas tied to language, emotion, processing, and long-term memory formation. The research is clear. A landmark study from Harvard's Grant Study, which followed participants for over 80 years, found that people with strong social connections had 50% less cognitive decline than those who were isolated. Dr. Robert Waldinger, the study's current director, notes, "Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. And they keep our minds sharper." But here's the concerning flip side. Loneliness actually shrinks the hippocampus, your brain's memory center. UCLA neuroscientist Dr. Steve Cole found that chronic loneliness triggers inflammatory responses that can damage brain tissue. The good news? This damage is completely reversible through social connection. So reach out. Send that text. Write a letter the old-fashioned way, yes, with stamps and everything. Call someone who makes you laugh. One 82-year-old wrote to us.
I started calling my college roommate every Tuesday. We laugh about our memory lapses, share stories, and somehow I'm remembering more than I have in years.
The power of laughter. And you know what makes connection even more powerful? Laughter. Laughter isn't just medicinal, it's like a spa day for your brain. Studies from Loma Linda University show that laughter lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that can damage memory by up to 39%, and increases the production of endorphins and dopamine. Dr. Lee Burke, who led these studies, explains. A good belly laugh is like doing push-ups for your neurons. It exercises multiple brain regions simultaneously and creates new neural pathways. So the next time you forget where you put your phone and find it chilling in the fridge next to the milk, laugh. That moment? It's not failure, it's connection. It's joy. It's your brain being beautifully, imperfectly human. 5. Try something new. Your brain's favorite adventure. Here's something absolutely magnificent about your brain: it loves novelty. More than a kid loves ice cream. Every single time you learn something new, no matter how small, your brain forms fresh connections, literally rewiring itself for better memory and cognitive function. This powerful ability is called neuroplasticity. And here's the kicker: it's not just for the young. Your brain keeps building new pathways well into your 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Neuroplasticity equals the brain's ability to rewire itself at any age, confirms Harvard Medical School. You're literally never too old to teach your brain new tricks. Real-life success stories. Take Margaret, 89, who decided to learn iPad painting during the pandemic.
I thought I was too old for technology.
She laughed.
But now I'm creating digital art, and my memory is sharper than it's been in years. I remember color combinations, technique names, even where I saved my files.
Or consider Frank, 76, who took up crossword puzzles after retirement. Research from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine found that people who do crosswords 4 days a week have a 47% lower risk of dementia. Frank jokes.
I went from struggling with Tuesday puzzles to conquering Saturday ones. My wife says I'm showing off, but I think I'm just showing up for my brain.
Brain-boosting activities to try. Puzzles and games. Sudoku, crosswords, or even jigsaw puzzles give your working memory a fantastic workout. They boost spatial awareness and problem-solving skills. And let's be honest, a 1,000-piece puzzle of a sunset over Tuscany just feels incredibly satisfying. Creative pursuits. Always wanted to learn to paint? Try a few strokes, even finger painting counts. Curious about photography? Start with your phone camera. A study from the University of Texas found that engaging in creative activities for just 2 hours a week improved memory scores by 25%. Language learning. Want to say hello in Swahili? Jambo. Learning new languages, even just a few phrases, creates robust neural networks. Research from the University of Edinburgh found that bilingual individuals show signs of dementia 4.5 years later than monolingual individuals. Music and movement. Tried tango lately? Music and dance simultaneously activate brain regions. Dr. Antonio Damasio from USC notes. When we dance, we are giving our brains the equivalent of a full-body workout. Every small step you take lights up your brain in extraordinary ways. Picture your neurons cheering you on like enthusiastic coaches.
Come on, team. Let's fire those synapses. We've got new pathways to build.
The beautiful truth: you're already doing the most important thing by reading this. By caring about your cognitive health, by being curious about improvement. That curiosity is neuroplasticity in action. That desire to grow? That's your magnificent brain saying, I'm ready for whatever comes next. Staying mentally active isn't just good for your brain. It's one of the most joyful ways to protect your memory, while embracing the adventure of lifelong learning. These practices are simple, but they're deeply grounding, scientifically proven, and absolutely worth celebrating. Remember, every time you try something new, every moment you connect with someone, every brain-healthy meal you enjoy, you're not just maintaining your memory. You're honoring the incredible, resilient, ever-growing wonder that is your mind. And that, dear friend, is something to be proud of every single day. If you've tried any of these, or are curious about them, let me know below. I read every comment. So, the next time you forget why you walked into a room, don't panic. Don't scold yourself. Just smile gently and think, maybe my brain was busy pulling another book off the shelf. Because your memory isn't gone. It's a library. A vast, beautiful collection of stories, facts, emotions, and moments. Sometimes the book you're looking for is buried under a pile of new ones. But it's still there. And with a little patience, the librarian in your mind will find it again. Let's take a moment to gently review what we learned today. Why we forget. Forgetting is normal. It helps your brain filter out the noise. Your hippocampus naturally shrinks with age, but exercise and sleep can help. Hormonal changes and poor sleep can temporarily cloud memory. Stress and multitasking overload your mental inbox. Not a memory flaw, just too many tabs open. 5 joyful ways to support your memory. 1. The morning mind sweep. Reflect on your yesterday, your hope for today, and someone you're grateful for. 2. Eat the brain rainbow. Enjoy memory-boosting foods like berries, greens, and omega-3s. 3. Move with joy. Gentle movement like walking, dancing, or gardening boosts blood flow and brain growth. 4. Connect and laugh often. Meaningful connection and laughter lower stress and strengthen memory circuits. 5. Try something new. Each new experience helps your neurons say, "Let's grow." So remember, whether your memory feels like a quiet library or a slow-blooming garden, you are still growing. You are still vibrant. And you are still deeply, wonderfully you. What's your most precious memory? The one you hope to never forget. And if you've got a favorite memory tip, or a funny forgetful moment, drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this video comforted you, made you smile, or helped you feel a little more hopeful, please subscribe to Golden Years Journal, and share your story below. And if you remember to click that like button, even better. Until next time, be gentle with your mind, and tend to your beautiful mind. And let it bloom in its own time. With warmth and wonder. Golden Years Journal.